Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today we have the Sunbeam F1 Pro versus the Lightphone 2. Great contender devices, and I'm really excited to showcase to you which one is the winner. So let's get started and go over the different things. So let's start with price. So when it comes to price, I'm going to give a technical win to the Lightphone 2 because you can find it for cheaper, number one, in Reddit or also in other spaces like eBay, but it's $50 cheaper. So technically a little bit of a win. And it does have two configurations, one for international, one for the United States or North America. This one only has North America. And because of that, and a little bit of a cheaper price that you can find it, Lightphone 2 wins in this category. But the next category is kind of build quality. So this one is definitely going to the Sunbeam F1. Sunbeam F1 has, a little bit more hefty construction and it feels better in the hand. I use both of these devices every day. This is my personal device and this is my work device. And I like them both and I think they're both great devices, but definitely on the build quality side, this one is a little bit better, especially because it does have USB-C. And that one comes in handy when you're trying to have one charger to rule them all. So this one, USB-C. This one, because it's 2019, it's an older device. It's micro USB. So definitely on the build, this one feels better. If you are looking for a lighter phone, though, definitely the Lightphone is super light and super easy to use, but I definitely recommend that you get a case for it because it's a little bit more delicate than the Sunbeam F1 Pro. So 1-to-1 on this category so far. Now let's get to the devices, what they do best and what they're supposed to do, which is calls and text. Now this one, I will give a technical win to the Sunbeam F1. They both work great. I actually use them both. And like I said, I have them on the same network. This one is using T-Mobile. This one is using T-Mobile as well via US Mobile. And they both work great for calls and text. However, there is a couple of features that I personally like on the Sunbeam F1. And I'll showcase that to you. So right here, I can show you. Give me a second. I was doing some testing earlier, but that's essentially what I wanted to show you. You have very multiple ways to send a text message. You have the keyboard, of course, T9 or triple click, whichever one is best for you. But you also have the QWERTY keyboard. You type right here, and you also have voice to text. But this is where it's a little bit better. So voice to text, the punctuation on the Sunbeam F1 is better than on the Lightphone 2. The Lightphone 2 also has a voice to text engine. But the other thing is this, for me at least. You can also have a secondary language. Y yo puedo hablar en español, y entonces va a detectar mi voz, y ahí está. And there it is. Yes, it does have Spanish, and that's super useful for me. So when it comes to the texting experience and the ability to use it for, different things, definitely the Sunbeam F1 is just a little bit better. So even though they both have good call quality, the texting experience is better on the Sunbeam F1 for me. So I'm going to give that technical win. The texting experience on the Lightphone 2 is actually nice. It's not bad at all. And you can type many different things, have the ability to, edit, and you also have a voice to text. This one adds definitely more, as you see the text engine right there, it only adds periods and question marks. So it's a little bit more rudimentary, but it does have emojis. So, that is nice. But again, on the call and text quality and experience, I will give it to the Sunbeam F1. If you're okay with just, regular basic calls, text, group text messages, and not having the Spanish, or you don't need it, or any other language, then definitely the Lightphone 2 is better. Or if you're international and the Sunbeam F1 doesn't work in your area, then the Lightphone 2 is the one to go. So on 2-to-1 so far, Sunbeam F1. Then let's go to battery. Another win for the Sunbeam F1. So you have definitely a device that lasts 2 days, full 2 days, going into 3. The Lightphone 2 is more 1.5. 1.5 days. So definitely the battery. Of course, the Sunbeam F1 is a bigger device. It's a heftier device, so they can pack a bigger battery and more optimizations. The Lightphone 2 is still, it's very good. The e-ink helps, but the battery is drained by the signal. So make sure to get a good carrier so that you don't have those issues. But definitely the Sunbeam F1 has a better battery. And this one also has battery saver mode, which can, further extend the battery. So that's super, super good. 3-1 so far, but now we're going to go 4-2 because support is a tie. So they are both getting updates. They're both being supported by the companies. So you will get updates and upgrades to the devices. The iPhone 2 has gotten way better since I got it first in 2019. And the Sunbeam F1 Pro already has updates, even though it was released now in 2023. Another tie is kind of like the quality of life that they both have. So very good. So 5-3 so far, 2 points ahead for the Sunbeam F1 Pro. And then the last category that I wanted to showcase is the apps or the app experience. So they both have directions, but the Sunbeam F1 has better directions than the iPhone 2. It's a little bit of a different interface, of course, but you can use it. See right here, this is navigation, and it does also have Waze. Waze only works with a touchscreen, though, and it doesn't come in every device. The iPhone 2, has kind of like similar abilities, and here you can, locate and enter the addresses that you need. Same thing with the iPhone 2, but the Sunbeam one is a little bit more reliable. However, on the other end, if directions is not the only thing I'm actually going over here, you are also going over the calendar. The calendar, the iPhone 2 wins because you can sync your Google Calendar with this one, whereas on the Sunbeam F1 is only a local calendar. So that's a little bit of like a convenience thing, and depending on what you need. Of course, they both have alarms and they both work pretty well, but this one has podcasts, whereas the Sunbeam F1, even though it does have media and it does have a music player, which is actually very nice, it's only for music. With a micro SD card. This one is music. You upload it to the engine, and then it shows up on your iPhone 2. But you also have the ability to have podcasts, which you can create RSS feeds for many, many different things. Which again is kind of like what you want, but from a technical standpoint, and I will give it a technical win to the iPhone 2, just because it has those kind of like a little bit extra conveniences, online things, little things here and there. But not to say that the Sunbeam F1 Pro doesn't have good apps. It does have good tools like a calculator and the flashlight, and it does have a camera. So if you need a camera, definitely the Sunbeam F1 is going to be your winner. So that is a little bit of a comparison right there. I'm going to showcase maybe a little bit more of the directions, because that's something that a lot of people look into. So one thing I like about the Sunbeam is that you can use pretty much everything. As you see, the USPS store is right there, 8 point whatever miles, but it gives you kind of like more information than the iPhone 2. Even when I search for USPS right here, it only gives me like very little information, or the UPS store, it tells me where it is. But on the Sunbeam, you can definitely see more things like, oh, you have the phone number and when it closes and that kind of stuff. This one has the weather. This one does not. So again, it's kind of like a preference for what you really need. But just because of the little conveniences here and there of the iPhone 2 with the online syncing and the podcast, I'm going to give that technical win right here. It's splitting hairs. Both devices are great. But an overall winner, if I had to declare one, the one that most people are going to be less frustrated by and is going to be easier to integrate in your life, I will say is the Sunbeam F1. It's just a little bit better right now, but that's because this device was released, and listen, the community had a very integral point here, that they listened to the community, to add the personal hotspot. That was a big win on the iPhone 2 for extra features before, but now the Sunbeam F1 Pro has versions with hotspot. So again, they're listening to the community, and they have delivered on their 2023 version. Now we'll see. Now that the refresh is probably going to come this year for the iPhone 2, iPhone 3 probably later this year, or maybe early next year. We'll see that will be a competitor that maybe beat the Sunbeam F1 Pro. But as of right now, if you're looking for no frills here in North America, the Sunbeam F1 is definitely a very good device. And if you're looking for more like a different experience, e-ink, the boring screen, I personally use this for my personal device because of those reasons. I don't like the LCD on the Sunbeam F1. Then the iPhone 2 still has its space and is a device that is very well used. Thank you for watching this video, and I will see you in the next one. If you have any questions, put it in the comments below, and I'll be interacting with you guys. Thank you for watching, and see you soon.